Hi, I'm Drew. I never thought I'd be the kind of mother who spies on her own child, but here I am, parked across from the community center, watching my 17-year-old son Ethan through my car window. The spring air is warm, but I feel a chill as I sink lower in my seat when he glances in my direction. You've lost your mind, Drew, I mutter to myself, gripping the steering wheel. Completely lost it. My phone buzzes. It's my sister, Vanessa. Please tell me you're not actually doing this, she says when I answer. I'm just making sure he's okay. Based on what? Something Carol Porter said at book club? That woman lives to stir up drama. I watch as Ethan checks his phone, then heads inside the building. It wasn't just Carol. Maria mentioned it too, and she's the high school counselor. She said Ethan's been seen with a group of kids who've been causing trouble. What kind of trouble exactly? Vanessa's voice has that familiar, skeptical tone. She couldn't say specifically, just that parents should be aware. So you decided stalking was the answer? Drew, he's a good kid. Honor roll, basketball team? This doesn't make sense. I sigh, watching the community center door. He's been different lately. Secretive, coming home late. When I ask about his day, I get one-word answers. That's called being a teenager, Vanessa says. Remember how we were with Mom? This is different. Last week, I found a roll of cash in his dresser. $300. When I asked about it, he got defensive. There's a pause on the line. Okay, that's a little concerning, but there could be an explanation. That's what I'm trying to find out. I straighten up as the door to the community center opens. I have to go. He's coming out. Drew, wait. I end the call and watch as Ethan emerges with two other boys I don't recognize. They're older, maybe college-aged. One has a sleeve of tattoos, the other wears a leather jacket despite the warm weather. They talk for a moment, then walk around to the back of the building. My heart pounds as I get out of the car. What am I doing? This is crazy. But I need to know what my son is involved in. I follow at a distance, keeping to the shadows of the building. When I round the corner, I see Ethan and the boys enter a door marked Staff Only. Excuse me, a voice says behind me. Can I help you? I spin around to face a woman about my age with a community center staff badge. Her name tag reads Diana. I'm looking for my son, I say, trying to sound casual. Ethan Mills, tall, dark hair. He just went in that door. Diana's expression shifts subtly. Are you Drew Mills? Yes. How did you know? She hesitates. Why don't you come with me? I think there's something you should see. Diana leads me through a different entrance and down a hallway lined with art projects and community announcements. I've been working with Ethan for about 2 months now, she says as we walk. Working with him? On what? She gives me a curious look. He didn't tell you? Tell me what? My stomach tightens. Before she can answer, we reach a door labeled Studio B. Diana pauses, her hand on the knob. I should let him explain, she says, then opens the door. The room is filled with the smell of paint and the sound of laughter. A group of young children, maybe 8 or 9 years old, sit at tables, paintbrushes in hand. And there, in the center of it all, is Ethan, helping a little girl mix colors on her palette. Miss Diana, one of the children calls out. Look what Ethan taught me. Ethan turns at the sound, and his expression freezes when he sees me. Mom, what are you doing here? Diana steps forward. I found your mother outside looking for you. I thought she might want to see what you've been up to. I look around the room in confusion. You're teaching art? It's an after-school program for kids from Oak Ridge Elementary, Diana explains. Ethan volunteers 3 days a week. Ethan approaches us, wiping paint from his hands with a towel. I was going to tell you. When? I ask, trying to process what I'm seeing. Marcus, can you take over for a minute? Ethan calls to one of the older boys I saw earlier. The tattooed one. He nods and moves to help the little girl. Ethan leads me into the hallway, closing the door behind us. Why didn't you just tell me about this? I ask. He shifts uncomfortably. Because I didn't want you to make a big deal about it. A big deal? Ethan, this is wonderful. No, not about the volunteering. About, he hesitates. About why I started. I don't understand. Ethan takes a deep breath. Remember Mr. Jensen from middle school? My art teacher? Of course, you loved his class. Well, I ran into him a few months ago. He recognized me even though it's been years. He told me he always thought I had talent and that he regretted not pushing me harder to pursue art. Okay, I say, still not understanding. Mom, I want to apply to art school. I blink, surprised. But I thought you were set on business school. That's been the plan since freshman year. Your plan, maybe. His voice has an edge I'm not used to hearing. I've been taking private lessons with Mr. Jensen. That's what the money was for. He charges, but not much. The rest I've been saving for application fees. Why didn't you just tell me this? Because you and Dad have always talked about me taking over the store someday. Every time I mention anything else, you shut it down. I feel a twinge of guilt, remembering conversations at dinner, the way we'd brushed off his interest in design as just a hobby. Those kids in there, he continues, they're from the same neighborhood where Mr. Jensen teaches now. Most of them have never had art classes before. Marcus and Javier, they're his students too. They're both applying to college on art scholarships. Before I can respond, the door opens and Diana steps out. Sorry to interrupt, but Lily is asking for you, Ethan. She's stuck on her project. Ethan nods, then turns back to me. I have to go back in. We can talk about this later. Actually, Diana says, we could use another adult helper if you're free, Drew. These kids can be a handful. I look at my son, seeing him differently than I had just an hour ago. I'd like that, I say. 2 hours later, with paint under my fingernails and a newfound appreciation for anyone who works with children, I stand in the parking lot with Ethan. So that's where you've been going on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays, I say. I thought maybe you had a secret girlfriend or something. He laughs. No, just finger painting and macaroni art. Your father and I need to talk about this art school idea. Ethan's smile fades. Dad's going to hate it. You don't know that. Yes, I do. He's been talking about me taking over Mills Hardware since I was 10. 4th generation, he always says. I can't argue with that. My husband, Greg, has had his heart set on passing the family business to Ethan. Let me talk to him first, I suggest. Feel things out. And say what? Hey, Greg, our son wants to throw away a secure future to become a starving artist? That's not fair. It's exactly what he'll think. Ethan kicks at a stone on the pavement. That's why I didn't say anything. I was going to wait until I had something to show for it. Mr. Jensen thinks I could get a scholarship. Before I can respond, a car pulls up beside us. It's Marcus, the tattooed young man from the art class. Hey, Ethan, we're heading to the diner. You coming? He notices me and adds, your mom can come too if she wants. I should get home, I say quickly. Your dad will be wondering where we are. Actually, Ethan says, I'd like you to meet my friends properly. These are the guys Carol and Maria probably saw me with. 10 minutes later, I'm sitting in a booth at Gino's diner with Ethan, Marcus, and Javier. I learn that Marcus, despite his intimidating appearance, is studying education and wants to teach art in public schools. Javier, the one in the leather jacket, creates digital animations and has already sold work to a gaming company. Ethan's got serious talent, Marcus tells me over coffee. His technical skills are already better than mine were when I started college. He's too modest, Javier adds. Show her the portfolio you've been working on. Ethan reluctantly pulls out his phone and shows me a digital gallery of his work. I'm stunned by what I see. Intricate designs, vibrant colors, pieces that tell stories without words. This is what you've been doing in your room all those nights? I ask. He nods. Mr. Jensen's been helping me put together a portfolio for applications. These are beautiful, Ethan. I feel a mixture of pride and regret. How did I miss this passion in my own son? My phone rings. It's Greg. Where are you two? He asks when I answer. Dinner's getting cold. We're at Gino's, I say. I think you should join us. There's something we need to discuss. When Greg arrives at the diner, I can tell he's annoyed. His tie is loosened, and his brow is furrowed in that way it gets after a long day at the store. What's so important it couldn't wait until after dinner? He asks, sliding into the booth beside me. Marcus and Javier excuse themselves tactfully, leaving us alone with Ethan. Dad, I need to tell you something, Ethan begins. I place my hand over his. Let me start. I turn to Greg. I heard some rumors about Ethan hanging out with a bad crowd. I followed him today. Greg's expression darkens. What kind of crowd? The kind that volunteers teaching art to elementary school kids, I say with a small smile. Greg looks confused. What? Ethan takes a deep breath. Dad, I've been taking art lessons with Mr. Jensen, my old middle school teacher, and volunteering at his after-school program. Art lessons? Is that where you've been disappearing to? Ethan nods. I want to apply to art school, not business school. The silence that follows feels endless. Greg's jaw tightens, and I can see him processing, trying to find the right words. The family business, he begins, is important to you, Ethan finishes. I know that, but it's not what I want. You've never even given it a real chance, Greg argues. You've only worked summers and mostly in the stockroom. Because every time I'm there, I'm counting the minutes until I can leave. Greg flinches as if Ethan had struck him. That store has put food on our table for 3 generations, Greg says, his voice low. It paid for the house you grew up in, the clothes you wear. I know that. And I'm grateful, but I can't spend my life doing something that makes me miserable just because it's expected of me. I decide to intervene. Greg, you should see his work. It's incredible. Show him, I encourage Ethan. Reluctantly, Ethan passes his phone to his father. Greg scrolls through the portfolio in silence, his expression unreadable. Mr. Jensen thinks I could get a scholarship, Ethan says into the silence. I'm not asking you to pay for anything. Greg hands the phone back without comment. Say something, Dad. What do you want me to say? That I'm thrilled my only son wants to throw away everything I've built for him? I'm not throwing anything away, Ethan insists. I'm trying to build something of my own. Greg turns to me. Did you know about this? Not until today, I admit. But now that I do, I think we should support him. Of course you do, Greg mutters. You've always been the soft touch. And you've always been stubborn, I counter. Just like your son. This draws a reluctant smile from both of them. Can you at least think about it? Ethan asks. Come see what we do at the community center. Meet Mr. Jensen. Greg sighs, running a hand through his thinning hair. I don't know the first thing about art. You don't have to, Ethan says. You just have to know me. The tension in Greg's shoulders eases slightly. When's your next class? Saturday morning, 10 o'clock. I'll be there, Greg promises. I can't say I understand this, but I'll try. It's not a ringing endorsement, but it's a start. As we leave the diner, I notice Ethan walking taller than he has in months. The secret he's been carrying has been set down, and though the path ahead is uncertain, at least we're facing it together. That night, after Greg has gone to bed, I find Ethan in his room, sketching. Thank you, he says without looking up. For today. I'm sorry I followed you, I tell him. I should have trusted you. It's okay. He finally meets my eyes. I should have trusted you too. As I close his door, I realize that the strange thing I heard about my son was true after all, just not in the way I'd feared. He had been hiding something. Not trouble, but a passion. Not a problem, but a gift. Sometimes the strangest discoveries are the most beautiful.